I've benefited from the program in many ways. One of the most important one is the ability to bring in frameworks and use it to explain issues to the management. Very often we explain things, using our own terminologies, using our own understanding. But if you bring in a framework that has been validated, that have been used before, in the academic world as a case study, or even in the real world, that brings a lot of credibility. That gives you the ability to explain it better, and there's no contention, right? I mean, I'm explaining it from this angle, and we are not the only one facing it. There's so many companies that faced it before, and this is a framework to address it. So let's look at it from that way. We were going through an M&A process, and the numbers side of it, the strategy side of it, those are no-brainers, right? I mean, we spoke about it. The consultants were brought in, and we have been engaged in that whole process for many months. But one of the things that we didn't talk about in that M&A process, which we did in this program, was the cultural aspect. So very early on, we talked about cultural integration and how the soft side of the integration really makes a big difference in terms of how an M&A is successful or not. And that struck me, and immediately I was able to bring it back and apply it in that particular M&A process. So that was ingrained in my memory for a long time, because immediately I could use it. It surprised even my manager, who had been supporting me to go through this program, and he was delighted that I was able to bring back something almost immediately within the first segment of the course, and contribute to that project.
I guess it is something where one goes for a certain module, bring home a certain understanding and learning, and it is kind of integrated or linked with another modules and issues that's being raised in class that links us to real life issues that we also face at our workplace. So it is a little bit like what I understand by inductive learning, where we learn of one area that impacts another. And when we look into bringing all this learning back into our own company, that's where we have a better confidence to make decisions that really matters. And I think today's rapid changing world, making decisions is of extreme importance, not only to our people, but also to our business partners and people that we interact with.
The best part about the program is it is not a full-time course. So after each subject, in fact, actually after each lesson, sometimes I just write some learning on paper and say, how is it relevant to my company, and how is it relevant to myself, and how is it relevant to my career progression. Each time I come back from an EMBA program, I'm like, bursting in enthusiasm, and I say, I mean, one of the first few subjects was on cultural intelligence. And I actually bought that program on that cultural intelligence, and I just started almost educating them on the different characteristics of people from different culture, different background.
It's been quite beneficial in the way I look at my conduct post-sessions completion and after I go back to the workplace. The team would find me using many new ideas and new jargons and thoughts around it. So they could definitely see the change around in the way the whole interaction used to happen. The softer part of the curriculum, which was more about people management, more about talent management, the communication management, and ensuring that the planning and execution, the risk management, the crisis management, all these aspects of work, which we do on a day-to-day basis. So that was one of the things where I could see that, I could feel that I could apply a lot more of definitive science, and approach was much more refined there. And I think that was noticed by my team and as well as by my peers and the supervisors. Now, midway in the course, I had also switched gears. I moved in from a very delivery-centric role to a more strategic role. In the new role, more as an individual contributor, so that's where all new faculties like strategic thinking of how to lay out a business model differentiate in the first place between what is a business plan and what is a business model, and use all those ideas around it to lay out a roadmap around which you would like to take the whole plan forward. So those aspects, I could see that my contribution was well received, and that's nothing but just a fraction of assimilation of whatever we are learning and understanding every day here.